Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Let me see. View speaker. Okay, good. Okay, so I guess I've had a couple things inspire me in the last 7 days, and I like I like to think about those things. And I just even talked to Tammy, I guess, offline before this training started, and started asking the question, what is it you feel like you need in training? And sometimes I think it comes back to, and some of these trainings might be just saying the same thing, only a little different, because we all kind of got to get back to, well, we all have the basic work we got to do all the time anyways, but it's the motivation of getting back to that work. It's the, how does that really resonate and connect with the job that I'm trying to do? And maybe there's a line of sight there. If we keep training at it and slicing it different ways, maybe something will resonate and you'll go, aha, and it'll stick with you longer and more valuable to you as you go on. So anyways, so this training, like I said, it was inspired. I was in a meeting with Todd Duncan, and I was in a meeting with Stacy, and she kind of helped me get inspired to connect the dots on this Todd Duncan stuff, right? And I'm going to cover part of the Todd Duncan thing, and I think I'm going to do the rest of Todd Duncan later. But the first thing, more than anything, is Todd led off with, and it all comes down to this. He started talking about decisions, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Todd Duncan, his son was in an incredibly horrible motorcycle accident, like very debilitating, major setback in his life, and various things. There's also a history of with one of his sons, major drug problems. Like he can't break through his life, and he's trying to make changes in his life. And, it's one of those where, as a parent, Todd and his wife had to make a decision. They had to make a decision that said, do we commit our son to a place where he can get rehab? Or do we not? And the way he looked at it, and he sliced his decisions apart, he goes, what are the two possible outcomes of making those two decisions? There's really two different decisions you had to make, right? I'm going to help my son get rehab, or I'm going to respect his decisions and allow him to continue doing the things he's been doing in his life. And what are the possible outcomes of that? The one possible outcome is he goes into rehab and he starts a journey of getting better in his life. And he might be really, really mad at you, but it's a decision you'll look back and say, I think I did the right thing. You'll never look back and say, I think that was a terrible decision to do, and I can't believe we did that to him. You know what I mean? So that was kind of you take a look at the decision and you look at the two choices. And the second choice of the decision was, I will decide not to send him to rehab. And then my outcome is going to be, I'm probably going to feel like I regret that for the next rest of my life. I'm not going to be saying, well, if I would have only made a different decision, so it was like somewhere in his life, there really wasn't a decision to be made. So as we go through our journey in our businesses, and this is true, we've said it time and again, that the decision is made every single day. We decide every single day how we want to spend our day. We decide, do you let the day control you, or do you control the day? It's a decision. And if you don't actually decide it, you're deciding it, right? So the one of the key takeaways that John Maxwell had given us before is he basically gives us a quote that says, decisions, while they're incredibly important, help us start. And so the start of every day, we've got to make those decisions. The start of every journey, you've got to make decisions. But the discipline you apply through the rest of the day is what makes you finish. So Todd Duncan was putting together a couple of interesting, an interesting survey. And I grabbed a screenshot from one of them, and I believe this was the one I grabbed. And it said, I missed the first one because I didn't think I liked it at first until he connected the dots. But he put up something on the screen where he talked about, he asked people, do they think they can make, which one of these is their plan for next year? What are you going to make next year per month? And the numbers started at 10,000 per month more, up to 500,000 per month. And in the room full of people that he was doing the training with, like 46% believed that $10,000 a month more was a possibility. And the reason why that matters is because in MONAT, it is a real possibility. We are not joking when we say you can make more money. It's a real possibility. And I'm going to get to that as we're through. And this is really where Stacy inspired me for the rest of the conversation. But it's the reality is you've got to ask yourself, what is that goal that I would like to hit? And again, you've got to make those decisions on being able to go after those things, right? But ask yourself that question. Do I realistically want to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year in MONAT? And then the next question you have to ask yourself, so if you believe that's a real possibility, and I'm happy to share with you guys and discuss it ad nauseum on how you could actually go about doing that. Okay. And you could list out, and many of you in your back of your head saying 10,000 a month. Yeah, right. But you're going, well, here's the list of can'ts. What's going to stop me from making $10,000 a month? You're going through every one of those things in your head while we're talking, rather than listening to me and saying, throw out all of that negativity and say, imagine if you just erase the negativity from your brain for the ability to say, what would it take to go after $10,000 a month? What does that look like from a business, an organization, the work I have to do, things like that? So then you put it in perspective. And the next question that Todd asked on the survey was the one I put in the banner for the training. It's, do you have a concrete plan to make that happen? 88% of the people said no, and 12% of the people said yes. Therein lies the reality of what's getting in the way. You think about your day, and this is kind of connected to where I started talking to Stacy about it. I started looking at, she asked me a simple question. Aaron, I got to make this much money. How can I make this much money? I was like, it's a really good question, Stacy, first off. Let me go do some more research about how you can make that much money at the end of the day. Because I thought I had a feel for it, right? And we'll just use $1,000 a month as an example, because I think the math is a little bit easier and things like that. And you got to ask yourself, so a lot of people on this call, I would be surprised if you're making, if you're making that much. I would ask you if you want to make that much for real. You know what I mean? And I'd ask you to ask yourself if you want to make that much for real. Okay. And then I start to look at it like this, right? Okay, there's two ways to do it. There are two ways to earn money in this business, right? One way is you show up every day, you do your work, you find like-minded people who want to join you. You create a market partner, you inspire a market partner to do some work. They do some work, they start to get their business growing. and you can accelerate your business fairly fast that way. And a lot of people on this call specifically ask the question, man, it's been really struggle finding that person that wants to run with me, right? And so we also have this other mechanism to actually make that $1,000 a month, more than $1,000 a month if you really push at it. And how is that at the end of the day? And I can see some people on here who are doing the A game on their business. That's going to exactly, their business is the model I'm about to describe. They started the business and started loving on their VIPs, and they get a few VIPs. And I think they were doing okay. Like they're doing like average, you know what I mean? They're making a couple $100 a month, let's say. This is what I'm going to guess for this individual. I don't know for a fact, but I know that it's different today. And what I saw happen about 12 months ago, maybe 10 months ago at this stage, 11 months, they started showing up every day more often. They started doing all those things they were already doing. They were loving on their VIPs. So they recruited their VIPs, and then they went out of their way to keep loving on their VIPs like it's the most important thing they do every single month. And the reality is, if your whole business is VIPs, it's the most important thing you can do every single month is wonder and help figure out how the VIPs you've already got, are the products working for them? Are they getting the value they need? Is there something they're missing? Is something changing in their life? Is there a new product that came out that might be the perfect thing that fits the gap in their product line that they've been working on? Or would they like to experiment with that wellness or that thing that they haven't tried before? It's like that whole strategy, when you talk about what is your plan, that whole strategy is something you need to write down. The non-negotiables you do every single day is worry about those VIPs. And those are the ones you already got. You already worked hard to get them. Imagine if they ordered from you. Imagine if 70% of your VIPs ordered from you every other month. Every 60 days, every one of those 70% of those VIPs loved the products enough and love your support of them enough that they'll order every other month. And it's very possible. This is how people have done this. It's very possible. Suddenly, you got the two aspects of the business. The next thing you do, and you're probably already okay at this, is you spend time finding new people to share with and recruit as a VIP and add them to your team, right? That's what we do. Those are the two fundamental things you want to do. If your business model is, right now, I'm just loving on VIPs. I'm going to take my business and I'm going to run with it till I get $1,500 a month just from loving on my VIPs. And it's a real possibility to do all of this. Okay. And then the thing about it is like this, right? You go, okay, well, what does it take to make $1,000 a month for your VIPs, right? So if you have your VIPs and you made 2,000 PV, you think about, say, 70% of your VIPs ordering, you're going to hit 2,000 PV if you continue to recruit. So what is it, 20 VIPs, 40 VIPs? It's pretty simple math, right? At the end of the day, there's 20 orders for $2,000. If you've got 20 VIPs, maybe you'll get 10 this month, 10 next month if you're loving on them. That's 1,000. If you continue to recruit, you get two this month. Let's say you just get 2 a month, whatever that means. And you start doing that, in a year from now, 2 a month is going to be 24 more VIPs. That means 1,000 a month more PV for your business, right? If you're at 1,000 a month PV, that's great. Let's talk about that at the end, Christina. That's a great question. And we've got what I think are a couple experts on the line, and maybe I'll ask them to do some training on this, and they may have already, but I'll ask them to team up on some training. But the question was, what are some top tips to love on VIPs? But so what you want, when we say love on your VIPs, that's you have the act of loving on VIPs, right? So then if you think about that, in 1 year, if you added 2 VIPs to your team and you were already at 1,000 VIPs a month, that's 20 VIPs. Only 20 VIPs could be 1,000 VIPs a month, 1,000 PV a month. Right? 10 order this month, 10 order next month, 10 order the next month, 10 order the next month. And then you add 2 VIPs a month. That's 24 more VIPs. Again, simple math says 10 order every other month, 10 order every other month. Now you got 20 ordering every month. You're at 2,000 PV. Okay. So how do you get to $1,000? Well, if you were only a VIP master for your business strategy, without factoring in VIP acquisition bonuses and different things, you know, 2,000 PV. I think it's 4,000 PV would be 10%, 400, 600 plus a PV bonus of 400. That's $1,000 a month, 4,000 PV. Okay. That's 15% of that would be 15% of commissions plus a PV bonus. Okay. And you're at $1,000 a month. And we just talked about, how do I get there? I got 1,000. I got 20 VIPs and 10 of them. I'm loving on them so much that 10 order this month, 10 order next month. Maybe you started with 30, so there's only 10 and 10, right? And then over time, we had 2 a month, right, as the goal. The question you can ask yourself, and this is why when Todd Duncan asked the question, can you come up with a plan to make $10,000 a month? What's the difference between the plan we just talked about that can build you a sustainable business to make $1,000 a month, and that can build you a sustainable business that can make $10,000 a month, even in the same PIV master or VIP master model, right? What is the plan? The difference in the plan. And the thing is, when you think about your plan, people will tell me, I can't do this, I can't do this, I'm busy this way, I'm busy this way, I'm busy this way, I'm busy this way. I want you to ask yourself this simple question. When I talk to somebody new about MONAT, trying to get them as a VIP, what is my success rate of getting them as a VIP? Whether they sign up today, tomorrow, or in 3 months, what is my success rate? I've seen Brittany's success rate as high as like 70%. And you know what? I lost art that we kind of forget about because COVID, washing people's hair, having them over and doing a little wash of in your house, you up that number. So let's say you're 30%. Let's say you're 20%, whatever so what does it mean if you're 20%? How do I get to $1,000 a month? If I'm in 1 year from now, if I'm 20%? Well, you have to, it's kind of just math, guys. Somewhere in the equation, you can write down the plan that says it's math. Okay. How many people do I need to talk to get 2 VIPs a month? If you're at 80%, if you're at 20%, I need to talk to 10 people. 10 people will get me 2 VIPs. Okay. It's simple math. So if you want to grow your business to make $1,000 a month, figure out how many people you got to talk to get a VIP. What's your percentage? Then figure out how many people you got to talk to hit that number. Okay? It really is as simple as that. If you want to grow your business, It's about the quantity of people you're talking to. And you say, well, I can only put 20 minutes in a day, whatever it is, whatever your work schedule is, right? That's 20 minutes a day. And there's two ways to make to do your work, and you can improve by being more efficient, meaning 80% of the time you close them as a VIP. That'd be phenomenal. And I believe that's a very simple equation that you can quite honestly just use the consultation training that's pinned in Rockstars. Okay, you can go to, it's Brittany's consultation training, pin in Rockstars, watch it again. And you can up your number from wherever you're at to at least 50%. So let's get to 50%. Okay, let's stick with our brain that says in a year from now, it'll be 1,000. Okay, and that's by adding 24 people. So that's 4 people a month you'd have to talk to find 2 VIPs. Now the question is, what are the hours you have to spend to find that person you need to talk to? You know how much it is. If you hunker down and find somebody to talk to be honest, it could just be you're already meeting people, but you're not talking to them. You know what I mean? You're meeting people, but you're not talking to them. So while you're meeting, like, I don't know, tell me how many people you met today. Did anybody go outside today? Did they meet more than one person? You got to ask yourself a question. Every opportunity to meet somebody is an opportunity. Now, when you talk about 80% and 20%, if I went out and tried to meet every single person and try to connect with every single person, my hit rate's going to be a lot less, right? It's going to be, I got to talk to 20 people to get 2 VIPs. So what? Do I meet 20 people? You know what I mean? Every day? Can I meet 20 people every day? Between online and that, I can find a path to connect with enough people. I don't believe the number's 20, by the way. I think you can be more strategic. You can get it down to like 6 people a day to get 2 VIPs a month, or 2 VIPs. If you did 6 people a day, if you did 2 people a day, you're going to get 2 VIPs in a month. It's all about the number of people you're talking to. It's a very, very simple equation. The people that walk across the stage in 10 months. Now they've got teams that duplicate their activity, but their activity was talking to people every day. Meeting somebody, talking to them, understanding how many people I got to talk to. So if you want $10,000 a month in 12 months, you can today take the information that you've got. How many people would you have to talk to a day? If your conversion rate is 50%, let's say it's 20%. Okay. If it was 20% and you wanted $10,000 a month just being a VIP warrior, how many people do you got to talk to? So let's say you talk to, if it's 10, every 10 people, you get 2 VIPs, right? If $1,000 was 2 VIPs a month, $10,000 is 10 times that. It's 20 VIPs a month, right? I mean, it sounds like absurd numbers, but it's real math. So if you're an 80%, if you're 20% success rate, you would have to talk to 100 people for real to get 20 VIPs. If you're at an 80% or 20% success rate. So you can ask yourself legitimately, what does my day look like such that can I, if you want to aim big, $10,000 a month, can I come up with a way in a 30-day period to talk to 100 people? Can I talk to 100 people? Is my success rate 20%? My conversion rate, the number of people to who I talk to. So there's 2 things you got to do. You got to You got to up the number of people you're talking to, right? So you'd have to say on purpose, I am going to go crazy with my business and talking to people about this opportunity. And my goal is going to be 100 people a month. If your conversion rate is 20%, if your conversion rate is 50%, you need to talk to, what's wrong with my math? It's not that hard. I think it's 50 people. If it was 50%, okay, let me just run through my stupid math again. Okay, if it's 50% conversion rate and I was getting, so that meant every other person I talk to, I get as a VIP, right? And I want to get, instead of 2 VIPs a month, I want to get to 20. That means I'd have to talk to 40 people. Suddenly it feels real, right? Why couldn't you talk to 40 people in 30 days? Why couldn't you meet 40 new people and build up enough of a conversation to talk to them and do your consultations with them? What would happen? This is what it means to say, can you dream of $10,000 a month? And then can you come up with a plan for $10,000 a month? That would blow you away. And it all comes down to, I've got to love on the VIPs I've already got because they're very special. So we're gonna definitely talk more about loving on VIPs in the next training call, okay? For sure. And you got to have a plan. Write down your calendar. How do I find the people I need to? What is my success rate on talking to a person and getting them to sign up? And then you need to go and start finding the new people. It really comes down to that. You look at people look back and you start thinking about MONAT. Well, MONAT's not like on fire, right? It's not on fire. Well, the only difference between it being on fire and not on fire is when it was on fire, there were people that we were talking to all the time. There were just more people we were talking to all the time. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to happen, right? If you actually do what I'm suggesting, it's decide every day. It's do the math to figure out what it takes. Do the math and come up with your personal plan on how you're going to meet whatever number it is. And if it's not 10,000 a month, if it's 5,000, just adjust the numbers. It's just math, man. You just know to get 5,000 a month, here's what it's going to take. What would 5,000 a month do to your life? And I'm going to tell you the reality, right? If you start executing this way, those market partners that you'd like to be finding as well, you're going to find. They're going to pop out of your VIPs. If you just tell them to do exactly what you're doing, the simplest, love on your VIPs and share with the number of people you need to change your life. If your business isn't growing enough, right, put your number on the table. What is your conversion rate and how many people are you sharing with? This is what it takes, guys. You can change your life for real. It's just a matter of showing up and doing that. And I'm going to tell you guys all, this is something that I want you guys all to do the homework in the month of December. We'll talk about loving on VIPs even more, because I think I may have had I've got a PV master that I like to call a PV master on the phone. I see her over there with her beautiful hair, but I had a PV superstar do training about I think it was May, and it was Jennifer Sanzo. And guys, I don't know if you know this, but she's been pushing like 10,000 PV forever. She has like 40,000 GV. I mean, all of this shit is sick, right? And it's just like, how do you do it? And it's loving on her VIPs at the end of the day. Her strategy, loving on her VIPs. Okay. And then everything else is a numbers game. And numbers come down to the same awkward thing. If you have 30 minutes a day, how many people can you talk to in 30 minutes a day? Write the math down. If your goal is $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, how many people do you need to talk to in a month? We said 100 if you're at 20%. I want you to challenge you, use Brittany's consultation, get to 50%. I want everybody at 50%. So we're talking 40 people. 40 people for $10,000 a month. 40 new contacts, yes or no conversations. Will you sign up as my VIP? You do that in 12 months, you're going to be pushing $10,000 a month. And your MPs are going to come along, and you're suddenly going to have this organization that's doing 30,000, 40,000 GV. That's how these businesses grow. So everybody's homework assignment is to take a really good look inside yourself, ask yourself the question. We already talked about it. Most people did not have a plan. That's why we listed this concrete plan as the draw to this training. Okay. Let me see if there's anybody has questions. So in a nutshell, that's as simple and as complex as I wanted to train today, guys. And it really came from Todd Duncan and Stacy. Stacy asking me the hard question, what does it take, Aaron? And it really, I believe it takes what I just described. If you want to be a VIP warrior, which I think is the simplest plan to put the business in your own hands. You know, you can put the business in your own hands. You can make all the decisions. And I know you guys all have day jobs, but it's math. How many people can you talk to a month in your work schedule? Figure that equation out. Don't waste the time that you already got to go out. You have extra time if you pick up 2 people to talk to when you happen to be out anyways. It's like free time, okay? Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to elaborate anything? Anybody, Jessica, you want to share any of your yummy loving on your VIP tips right now? You're muted.
I couldn't figure out how to get my mute off. Well, right now, it's a little late for a lot of people, but, you know, I was talking to Jackie just on chat a little bit ago, and we were talking about giving things to our VIPs for like purchasing. So like you give them like gifts and stuff like that. Whereas what I'm doing is I'm giving them the first top 4 people, like something like a gift or a product that's more expensive, and something little. And then I'm doing 15 off, $10 off, and $5 off, which means I'm going to refund them that amount of money, because that's the only way around it, for purchasing as a present from me, because it's easier than gift cards. I'm sending postcards to every single person. I just started sending out birthday ones, and actually had somebody that I have not been able to get a hold of actually contact me from that birthday card.
Nice.
So like you're saying, loving on the VIPs, I feel like when you send a handwritten note to somebody, they really appreciate that. And they are like, oh, wow, she took all that time to, you know, write this handwritten note. And doggone, my hands for getting tired. 95 of them, I had 95 people order just last year, 95 different people in the past year. So I just keep on loving on them. And yes, my business is VIP based, but like you were talking about the paycheck, like going over 4,000 PV. And granted, this past time I missed my VIP acquisition bonus by 1, But in like the month of November, I definitely went over $1,000 in 1 month. So if you're looking at making over $1,000 and getting either new VIPs are going to be your best because then you get that acquisition. But just getting over 4,000 PV, that 10% bonus is stinking awesome. Like that, when I got paid today, I was like, yes, So you have to love on your VIPs if you want a VIP business. But like you said, the market partners will come out of it at some point in time.
Yeah, it's really going to come out of it. So I love that. And I will tell you that here's a trick. I have the worst handwriting in the world. If anybody actually got a card from me with my handwriting, first off, I probably had somebody else do it, so you never got my handwriting. I take it to my daughter, Amber, and she's my card factory. I write one out and say, all right, I want you to say this over and over and over and over again to all of my VIPs. And now she's got a daughter that prints just as well and better than me, that the two of them fill out cards. So that's the only way I can do it. Otherwise, people can't read my chicken scratch.
But if you don't have that, like Stacy and Stacy was talking about it the other day when we were doing it together on a power hour. She's like, oh, my handwriting is horrible. I'm like, but still, even if it's horrible, they're still getting something from you that you still went out of your way to do it. I could type something and stick it on every single one, but how is that really personal? So I just feel like that personal touch is like really, really nice for them to get.
Yeah, I've done a combination. Just Stacy, I'll give you I've done a combination where I've done a sticker and I use like cursive. Looks more like writing, but I know it's a sticker. But I put a sticker on there and then I do a handwritten thing in it, so I can save down on the worn hand for my daughter.
Aaron, Sylviane has her hand raised.
Sylviane?
Hi.
Hi.
I had my hand raised. I love what Jess said, because yes, it's true, the handwritten stuff, but to also love on our VIPs when they become a VIP. I always send a little, it's very small, so it doesn't cost much, but a little card. I got this. It's called Botanical Works, and this can be planted in the earth and it becomes flowers. This heart.
Oh,
And you can make a message here. So I wrote, thank you, nature lover. And then on the back, you can have a note written. It says, welcome to your healthy lifestyle journey. My name. And then there's a little note saying that you can plant this paper seed and it becomes a flower. So whether they throw it out or just plant it for reals, it'll become a flower and it's not wasted. And the other thing I invested in is I go to thrift stores and you can sometimes find cards if you don't have a lot of money right now to spend, but you find little cards that you can send and thank them. And that's very small. And I can include my little card in there so it fits. And I also got on Amazon, the envelope is biodegradable. So it like goes with the value of who you are as well. So it shows that not only are you using natural products and helping the planet and helping yourself, well, I stick to what I am as a person, and so yeah, they love it. They're like, and I send maybe a little, I don't know, an energy stick or something they didn't put in their order, of course, like a rejuvenating oil if I have one or whatever. And last but not least, I'll mute myself because I'll find it and I'll come back if anybody else wants to talk, but I'm going to show you this.
thank you, Sylviane.
I feel like since nobody's talking, I might as well just come on here and say, you guys are all freaking amazing. That's all.
Thank you. You are amazing. Rick. Oh my gosh. Love following you. And I think I showed this before, but I also got those. They're food grade little packages, but if like I don't have all the samples that are available. I can't afford it right now. So we're allowed to put samples from our own bottles, not sell it, but we can send it, right? My understanding. So these are food grade, and you can put rejuvenate oil, berry scrub, whatever product you have that you want them to try, you can put it in there and you can take a marker and write on it what it is. And I always print the fact sheet, the product sheet, and send it with it. And that's also
Great
a great way to send
suggestions.
samples. And they're very cheap on Amazon as well, food
Yeah,
grade.
these
So
are great suggestions, and Amazon is a great way to get all of that stuff cheap.
Sylvie Ann, that's amazing. Okay, me and Aaron are gonna do that.
Right, so that's
cool.
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna call it for that. I'm gonna continue, Todd Duncan. I'm gonna dig up the VIP thing, and maybe I will get Jackie and Jessica to tag team a training for us all on loving on VIPs.
Yes, that'd be great. All right,
Okay,
bye.
guys.
Love you.
Thanks
Bye.
everybody for joining. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.